It's a decisive majority, but just 4 defections on any pick would scuttle a nomination. One of the senators who will be fighting to get all of the Trump appointments through, Republican Ron Johnson, joins us now from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Senator, thanks for being with us. Among the most controversial picks so far is former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Gaetz resigned his seat just ahead of what was expected to be a pretty damning ethics report, including allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, etc. House leaders have said that report will not be made public. But should it be made available to senators as they evaluate his nomination?
Good morning, Chris. Well, let me say at the outset, I think the confirmation process has gotten completely out of control, way beyond what I think our founders ever envisioned. You know, we have to confirm something like 1,200 positions in administration. I think elections matter. I think presidents ought to have the ability to staff their administrations. Now, again, we should be providing advice and consent on lifetime appointments and certainly the top administration officials, but this is completely out of control. So again, I'll let the confirmation process proceed. Let's face it, I haven't exactly seen the legacy of the corporate media report, honestly, for example, the collusion hoax, the Russian collusion hoax. So I haven't seen the ethics report on Matt Gaetz. I know he's an incredibly effective advocate for the president. We need people that are willing to get into these agencies and root out the corruption, the partisan players in there. So I can certainly understand why President Trump would want somebody like Matt Gaetz at that position.
Do you want to see the report, though? Do you think the members of the Judiciary Committee should see it as they weigh his nomination?
Well, those are the folks who are going to take a look at it and determine whether or not they see it or not, or whether they have to.
Okay. Now, you are going to play a very important role in advancing the president-elect's picks. Have you had a chance to talk to Gaetz about navigating this tricky situation or any of the president's other nominees?
No, I haven't. And again, my bias would be to vote for the people that President Trump wants to serve by him in his administration. Again, as a U.S. Senator, I'm probably the minority view here. I don't particularly like being the Human Resources Department of Administration. Again, the top picks, lifetime appointments, I have no problem with that. But you start getting down to the, kind of the lesser agencies here or positions, it's really ridiculous what we do. I'd much rather spend time on oversight and investigations. Let the president pick and put those people into place. And if there's a problem, let Congress come in with oversight.
Well, I think you're pointing to something that I'm hoping you will clear up for us. Because Senate rules can be really arcane. The president-elect says he wants Republicans to allow recess appointments. And this would go to sort of your point here about making it easier for lower-level ones, maybe. But that would mean that they would take office without Senate approval. But where I get stuck is it seems to mean different things to different people. Some stalwarts with the president-elect want this done sort of preemptively to avoid the confirmation process altogether. Others, like your new incoming majority leader, seem to say it should just be a tool to use in case Democrats try to delay the process. Where are you on this? Is this a last resort, or should it be done preemptively?
Well, first of all, because Harry Reid employed the nuclear option and now all confirmations are just with the majority, we can speed confirmations through pretty fast. So, once the new Congress is formed, we'll start holding confirmation hearings so that on day one after the inauguration, we can start voting, the key positions out. So if for some reason Democrats obstruct that in some way, shape, or form, although they have very little power to obstruct it, we can really churn through these nominations pretty quick. So it all depends on how many people President Trump is really appointing. That takes time. You literally have thousands of positions to fill in the administration. So to identify those people and get the right people, part of the problem that President Trump and his first administration is the agencies, the bureaucrats in these agencies and departments basically sabotage his administration. I think he's coming in far more wary, far more aware of that, and he's going to do a lot. I think he's going to be far more careful at picking people who will actually implement his agenda.
Okay. On to current business. The government funding is set to expire in 33 days, and there's a disagreement among Republicans in Congress. There's some who say it would be most helpful to the incoming administration to pass longer-term spending measures rest of the federal fiscal year that runs through September. There are others who say that they should wait, kick the can a little bit now, and then when you come back and Republicans are in the majority in the Senate, they can get a better deal. Where are you on this question? Is it better to have a short-term deal to kick it into a time where Republicans have more control, or better to take it off of Trump's plate?
Well, I see the benefit of both approaches, and it'll really be up to the President of the United States, President Trump, to make the decision. Does he want, fiscal year 2025? Again, we're already in fiscal year 2025. Do we want the funding behind him, or does he want to have that fight when we realize that we have massive issues we have to undertake, securing the border, trying to rein in out-of-control spending? But for the appropriation process, we will need Democrats cooperating with us to pass these bills in the Senate. I don't expect much cooperation out of Senate Democrats. Now, we have reconciliation for, trying to avoid a massive tax increase, which is one of our top priorities in 2026. So we need to spend that time and effort to make sure that that massive tax increase doesn't take place and pass President Trump's other tax priorities that are really focused on middle-income Americans. I think that's really the mandate of this election is we need to focus on the lives and, how the middle class is doing in this country because they've been ignored for far too long.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.